stop what you're doing and pay attention because Jim Jones, the one and only Dipset legend, has just lost it and it's all on camera. But here's the thing, isn't just drama. This is a full-blown attack on Camron, a fight so vicious that it will leave you speechless. You've seen rappers fight before, but is on a whole new level. Jim Jones, in a blind rage, engages Camron in a vicious public brawl, and the video has gone viral faster than a wildfire. But the most shocking part is that, just hours after the chaos, Jim Jones is arrested. You heard that, right? The police moved in like it was a movie. Jim Jones is no stranger to controversy over the years, whether it's through his music, his antics, or his public feuds. However, what just happened with Camron is like a plot twist you didn't see coming in this never-ending drama between them two. Everyone thought they'd buried the hatchet long ago, but it seems like that's far from the case. What really happened behind closed doors? Was just another feud? Or is there something much darker lurking beneath the surface? Stay tuned because what I'm about to reveal will leave you questioning everything about Jim Jones. On the surface, it appeared to be just another argument that could have been handled behind closed doors. But as we all know by now, nothing stays private in the world of rap. In the blink of an eye, what started out as a quiet conversation between two former allies turned into a violent altercation that left one man in handcuffs and the other bruised and battered. The video of the fight went viral, and now everyone is talking about it. Jim Jones, who is known for projecting a tough guy persona, is at the center of a scandal that no one anticipated. The timeline of events that led to this altercation is still unclear, but here's what we do know about Jim Jones and Camron. The public fallout between Jim Jones and Camron has been going on for years, and this latest incident is just another chapter in their ever-evolving feud. This time, however, things went too far. The fight happened during what was supposed to be a private meeting where Jim and Camron were trying to work out their differences and settle their beefs. As with many high-profile partnerships, things started to sour. Old grudges resurfaced, business disagreements turned personal, and soon they were no longer just collaborators, but enemies. The altercation was brief but intense. Camron was reportedly caught off guard and attempted to defend himself, but Jim was too strong and had the upper hand. The video footage, which has since been leaked to the public, shows Jim throwing wild punches that knocked Camron to the ground and not stopping until the damage was done. Isn't just another fight between two celebrities. It's a symbol of everything that's gone wrong in their relationship. It's the result of years of tension, unresolved issues, and animosity. And we can't deny that this fight was captured on camera. The footage is all over the internet, on news websites, and on social media. And it's being shared, reposted, and discussed endlessly. The world is watching as Jim Jones, a man known for being tough and violent, even vents his rage on a former friend and business partner. The question now is, what will happen next? Let's talk about what happened after the altercation. Jim Jones wasn't simply allowed to leave the scene. Authorities were alerted to the incident, and less than 2 hours after the altercation, Jim was taken into custody. When officers arrived following an anonymous tip, they discovered Jim and Camron in a state of chaos. Jim, the aggressor, was immediately arrested and charged with simple assault and battery. However, things are never that straightforward, especially when it comes to someone as well-known as Jim Jones. Let's take a closer look at this. Jim Jones has had his share of legal troubles in the past, but this time is different because the public is watching closely and the media has exaggerated the incident. Nevertheless, the fact remains that Jim Jones attacked Camron. The video is out there, and it won't be going away anytime soon. As more people watch it, more questions will come up about what caused this. According to anonymous sources close to the situation, this wasn't just a disagreement or a misunderstanding. Rather, it was a full-blown outburst in which Jim lost control. However, why was it about something more than just a personal grudge between two artists who were once brothers? Or was there a deeper conspiracy at work? Sources close to Jim Jones have suggested that this fight may have been sparked by something more than just words. Did Camron say something that triggered Jim? Did he go too far with his remarks? Or was there something else at play? According to some anonymous sources, Jim had been under a lot of personal pressure, and this fight was the result of years of bottled-up anger, frustration, and hurt. Whether or not this is true, the fact remains that Jim Jones let it all out, in a way that no one saw coming, and now he's paying the price for it. The police aren't the only ones looking into this incident. Reports have surfaced that there were conversations about business dealings, old grudges, and things that were left unsaid. However, was that really the cause of this altercation? Or was there something more involved? Teams are dealing with the fallout from this altercation behind the scenes. There have been reports that Camron has been talking to his lawyers about filing charges, and Jim's legal team is frantically putting together a defense. However, the real fallout is that there are rumors that this entire fight was staged or, at the very least, purposefully provoked. Some claim it was just a publicity stunt, another way for these two to keep their names in the headlines. Only, time will tell if this is true. But let's not forget the fact that Jim Jones is more than just a rapper. He is a brand, cultural icon, and someone whose every action is closely watched by the media, and this fight and arrest are harming his reputation in ways that go beyond just legal charges. Fans and critics are divided. Some are supporting Jim Jones, saying that Camron pushed him too far, while others are denouncing him, saying that this is the last straw in a long line of poor choices. What's next for Jim Jones, Camron, and their future in the industry? This is just the beginning, people. And I assure you that you'll want to stay tuned for the next chapter, because things are going to get even more bizarre. The fallout from Jim Jones's explosive altercation with Camron is far from over. And the public's reactions are coming in from all directions. It's not just about the physical altercation anymore. It's about everything that will happen after. Legal teams are gathering, the media is having a field day, and fans are split. But let's take a closer look at what happened after the arrest and how things are getting out of control for both Jim Jones and Camron. As soon as word leaked out about Jim's arrest, the internet erupted with memes on social media. But these weren't your typical jokes. Jim's entire image was built on strength, dominance, and being untouchable. But now that image was shattered in front of the world. Is it possible that Jim's reputation, which was built on years of dominating the rap scene, was all a facade, and that he was really just a man who couldn't control his temper? Let's get into the specifics of what's going on behind the scenes. According to people close to the situation, Jim Jones's arrest is just the beginning. Both his and Camron's teams are frantically trying to manage the fallout. They have reportedly contacted a number of major media outlets requesting positive PSY, coverage offset the negative coverage. Although Camron hasn't publicly expressed his anger, insiders say that he feels personally attacked by Jim's actions. This wasn't just a physical fight, it was a betrayal. These two were once like family. Now, Camron is reportedly carefully weighing his options and is investigating the possibility of suing Jim for the assault. Whether this will result in a lawsuit is still unknown. The media's focus on Jim's violent outburst is seriously affecting his business dealings, including potential sponsorships and future collaborations. Will companies still want to align themselves with him, or is his brand doomed? Camron has a strong case, though, considering the footage that is already available to the public. Let's talk about the legal ramifications of this altercation. Jim Jones has been arrested, but what does that mean for him going forward? First off, assault and battery charges are serious. Even for someone as well known as Jim. Yes, he may have a high-priced legal team, but the fact remains that he could face serious consequences, including jail time, especially with the media so heavily involved. Additionally, the public backlash is growing daily. And some legal experts are already forecasting that Jim may have to endure a protracted legal battle. evident that the altercation was extremely violent. Jim is seen hurling punch after punch, knocking Camron to the ground and continuing to do so until the damage has been done. Experts say that this kind of behavior could result in more serious charges, and Jim could face a fine, probation, or even jail time if things don't work out. However, the ramifications are far-reaching. There are rumors that Jim's management team and even his closest allies are reevaluating their relationships with him. There are discussions about contract renegotiations, possible splits with his business partners, and even a public apology tour. The last thing Jim wants is to lose his business empire due to a pointless altercation that could have been prevented. But it's too late to reverse the damage as the legal drama unfolds. The public's perception of Jim Jones is being painted with a much darker brush these days. Gone are the days of the cool-headed rapper with a swagger that everyone admired. Instead, Jim is now seen as a loose cannon, a man who loses his temper and lashes out when things don't go his way. Is this the image he wanted to leave behind? Or is this just another chapter in his decline? Let's take a moment to think about what Camron stands to gain from this altercation. Camron is already a seasoned veteran in the rap game, and if he decides to press charges, it could put him in the spotlight, casting him as the victim in this saga. He has reportedly been making some calls of his own. Rumor has it that Camron has contacted other industry figures asking them for advice on how to proceed. He is reportedly considering making a public statement that could potentially expose even more details about Jim's actions that haven't yet come to light. However, there is another twist to this drama that we need to think about. What if Jim's actions were more than just a personal feud with Camron? Rumors have been circulating that Jim may have been under the influence during the altercation. Sources close to the situation have hinted that Jim had been drinking before the incident, which could have clouded his judgment and led to the outburst that has now ruined his reputation. The villain of the story could be a PR win for Camron, as he gets to be perceived as the more controlled, level-headed one, and Jim is left to deal with the consequences of his actions. Act in such a careless and self-destructive manner. Meanwhile, the world is waiting for Camron's next move. He is reportedly considering taking legal action, but he is also thinking about using this opportunity to publicly address the drama. A tweet, Instagram post, or even a YouTube video could turn the entire situation in his favor. It's a delicate dance, and Camron knows that he needs to handle this situation carefully. One mistake and the whole thing could backfire. What comes next for both of these men? Jim faces an uncertain future. Will he be able to make amends with Camron? We're watching the unraveling of a public feud that has been simmering for years and is about to reach a boiling point. Trust me, when I say that this is far from over, as the days go by, the fallout from Jim Jones's arrest continues to escalate. Everyone is wondering what will happen next. Will Jim be able to salvage his career and reputation? Or is this the beginning of the end for him? What about Camron? How does he handle the aftermath? It's a saga that has only just begun, but the consequences are already becoming evident. Let's start with Jim's defense. According to people familiar with the case, Jim's legal team has not been sitting idly by despite the overwhelming evidence of the attack. They are reportedly doing everything in their power to get the charges dropped entirely or to secure a reduced sentence. One of the strategies being discussed is arguing that the altercation wasn't premeditated. They are claiming that Jim was provoked and that his reaction was the result of a long-standing tension between him and Camron. However, it remains to be seen if this argument holds water given the video, which shows Jim throwing punches and refusing to back down even when Camron was on the ground. Public opinion is changing in the interim, and fans who once embraced Jim's tough guy persona are starting to wonder if he's really the role model he once seemed to be. The meme culture surrounding Jim's arrest is wild, with people making fun of him for losing his temper. There's a sense of disappointment in the air as his once loyal supporters start to turn away. It's a far cry from the days when Jim was the untouchable, larger-than-life figure in the hip-hop community. Now, he's just another warning about how easily things can go wrong. The social media backlash has been fierce, with everyone from hip-hop fans to celebrities weighing in. Camron supporters are particularly outspoken in their criticism of Jim for what they perceive to be a betrayal of their friendship. As one user tweeted, "Jim Jones just showed his true colors." Legal experts say that Camron is playing the long game, laying low in public but making moves behind the scenes as he carefully considers his options and decides whether to pursue a lawsuit. The defense claims that everyone has a breaking point and that his actions, while regrettable, were the result of years of pent-up frustration. Jim's record label is reportedly worried about the damage to his brand, but they haven't made any official statements. Sources say they're discussing how to distance themselves from the controversy. This is a dangerous position for Jim to be in, as his business deals are now being called into question. Some speculate that Camron may choose to take the high road and let the legal system handle it, while others believe he's planning a more aggressive approach. Whatever the case may be, one thing is for sure: he won't let Jim off the hook easily. It's all up in the air, and the more time goes by, the more it appears that Jim's empire may fall apart for Camron. However, things are a little different. The whole situation has brought him back into the spotlight, but it has also forced him to face some uncomfortable realities. He has been receiving a lot of media attention, both positive and negative, with some praising him for avoiding a public feud and others wondering if he's just waiting for the right time to retaliate. It's obvious that Camron knows how to use the media to his advantage, and he's biding his time to make his next move. The rap game has long been based on the idea of being real and having the ability to throw down when the situation calls for it. But what happens when that mentality goes too far? What happens when a fight is captured on camera and the consequences are more severe than anyone expected? Industry insiders are starting to ask these questions in the wake of Jim's arrest, with some speculating that Jim's actions could serve as a wake-up call for the hip-hop community. It's important to keep in mind that this situation is far from being a personal feud between two artists. It's a reflection of a much larger culture that glorifies violence and aggression. It's no longer about lyrics or bravado. It's about accountability. If Jim can fall from grace like this, then anyone can. The question is, will this incident spark a larger discussion about how hip-hop culture handles conflict? Or will it just be another tale of a rapper gone rogue? At this point, the fallout from Jim's actions is still happening, and legal battles are just the beginning. Public opinion will continue to change, and the impact on Jim's career will become more apparent in the months to come. But one thing is for sure, is a moment in time that no one in the hip-hop world will ever forget. What about Camron? What will happen to her feud has sparked a wider discussion about hip-hop violence and the personal repercussions of a culture based on aggression and ego. The story is still developing and will have a lasting impact on the hip-hop community for years to come. As for Jim Jones, it's unclear if he will be able to recover. Some fans hope he will grow as a person and learn from this experience, while others think his decline is irreversible. In any case, Jim Jones has demonstrated that even the most untouchable figures in hip-hop can be brought down by their own actions. Will he rise again? Or is this the end of his empire? There is no doubt that this story is far from over, and we will be closely following it and keeping you informed at every turn. However, let us leave you with this. What do you think will happen next? Will Jim Jones recover from this, or will Camron win? Please share your thoughts in the comments section below. This is an exciting story that will continue to unfold with no end in sight, but we now want to hear from you. Jim Jones recover, or will be the last straw for him? Will Camron take full advantage of this moment, or will he move on quietly? Let's get if you liked this in-depth look at the newest hip-hop drama. Please like and subscribe for more shocking stories, heated controversies, and behind-the-scenes looks that you won't find anywhere else. don't forget to hit the notification bell so you're always the first to know when we release new content. Trust us, you won't want to miss what's coming next. Share this video with your friends so they can join in on the action as well. After all, who doesn't enjoy a good scandal? Stay tuned because this story isn't finished yet, and we'll be right here to bring you the latest. It's updated until the next time. Till the next time.